All right.
We're joined here by Mayor Fred Eisenberger, who is beginning his second term as mayor, but it's not a second concurrent term. There we go. The bloopers starts with me. So, in your first day, I'm cutting you a bit of a break.
Oh,
so,
I'm going to take my teeth. Hang on. Okay, we're good.
Your first day?
Yep.
Started early with a flight back into Hamilton.
Yep.
What have you done so far today?
Just got in the office, and I'm cleaning out the remains of the desk. So some additional stuff that we have to move on, and we'll clean that up, and then get some settling in done, and then start bringing some of my own stuff back in.
I can't help but make the joke. Are you checking every drawer?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But you know what? One would do that anyway, so I'm not going for the joke. But I'm seeing some personal stuff for Bob that I'm putting aside that he'd want to have, and I'm not sure how it was missed, but I'm setting it aside so that he can come and collect it.
And so this is the beginning of your second opportunity as mayor.
Right.
What are you looking to do in this next 4 years?
Well, as we talked about during the campaign, it's for me the highest priority is in tandem both economic development and prosperity for all people in our community, and poverty issues are kind of they're tied together, and they're clearly issues that need to be worked on from both ends of the spectrum, and we've got infrastructure issues in our city, and I'm not going to let our city fall apart. I want to make sure that we put the necessary resources into developing our infrastructure and repairing and rebuilding. So all of those are the issues that I talked about during the campaign, what I'll be working on in the course of the next 4 years, including electoral reform, and hopefully take a little time to kind of fashion some thoughts about what we could do, and then get that started sooner rather than later.
On electoral reform, our voter turnout was very low.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing to reach out to the people who didn't vote, and then the people who chose not to vote for you?
Well, you know what? Someone raised an interesting point through Twitter, and why aren't we asking people why they didn't vote? And then I explored a little further, and actually some municipalities have actually set up a booth for people to go into and write out or type out why they didn't vote, like why I didn't vote booth, which I think is important to do. Let's find out what is it that it either isn't motivating people to get out and vote, or what is taking them away from that responsibility. What is it they're not being taught in the school potentially? All of those things are potential answers to the kind of tactic we're going to have to use to get voter turnout up. At the end of the day, we can only do so much. It's essentially the voters out there that also need to come to the table. But I think it's a learned behavior, and I think we need to talk with the school boards about providing some additional education every time there's an election to encourage kids to participate in the electoral process.
Does anything feel significantly different than when you were last here 4 years ago?
No, except I won't be leaving the building. So last time in, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that we were going to be out of this building for the majority of the time that I was mayor. And this time around, it's a rather
to the renovations.
To the renovations, and we moved into the swing space, which is at the city center, which for all intents and purposes worked just fine. But we weren't able to stay in the seat of government in this building for the full 4 years, and we'll be able to do that this time around. And that feels a little different, actually. So I didn't get much time to spend in the newly renovated building that we're sitting in today.
What feels different about returning to the office compared to the first time that you became mayor?
Well, you know what? I mean, it's unique to have a second opportunity to do this. Having had a break, this is kind of historic. I'm honored and flattered to be able to have the opportunity to do that, and it certainly gives one an opportunity to have reflected on the previous 4 years over the last 4 years, and think about how I might approach things differently. And I sense that there will be some changes in terms of how I approach council and how I approach senior staff and how we work together. And I think that'll be a positive change rather than a negative one.
At the end of this term, what would be the 3 words you would want people to use to describe the 4 years ahead of us?
Job well done.
That's one sentence, and it's 3 words. Well played, sir.
Thank you.
And lastly, are you going to be relaunching mayorfred.ca or some other form of site?
Yes, we will be, but we haven't had the opportunity to get hands-on other than today, so I expect in the next week or so we will be able to set up a website and an appropriate mayoral Facebook page, and I think the Twitter account will just continue as is, so we'll just continue to use that social media platform to reach out to as many people as we can.
I'm going to throw in one last one. This one's a little bit more fun. Have you tried on the Calgary Stampeders jersey yet?
No, although I'll be wearing Nenshi on my back, which is, I did say to him yesterday that we should have actually done the bet in by poundage, his weight as opposed to mine. That would have saved us a little bit of money, but it would have shortchanged him in terms of the food bank. So I did mention to Mayor Nenshi that he had the mind of an athlete and the body of an academic, and maybe we should next time we have this bet, maybe next year, that we change it up and make something. It's hard to figure out what a unique bet is between mayors on that kind of an event, a Grey Cup event. But I think next year, I think it'd be great to change it up. It was great effort this year, though, and I think all the food banks across the country certainly heard the message, and I'm hopeful that the Grey Cup fans out there that had parties or events were able to gather up some food in their own way to help the cause, because it's certainly a need that needs to be addressed.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Mayor.